Huge silly season breaking news this morning. I don't think anyone saw this coming. This is a shocker. We've got to talk about it. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. I was not planning on doing a video this morning. I've actually been working on a bigger episode, kind of like a playoff predictions video that I'm going to upload probably tomorrow. But once I saw the news this morning, I had to come in here, make a video, and you guys are about to see it because I've got a lot to say. This is the biggest, most breaking news story of the year, I think. Earlier this morning, Wood Brothers Racing put out a statement regarding a major driver change for 2020. Here's what they said. Wood Brothers Racing, the oldest active NASCAR team and one of the winningest teams in series history, announced today that driver Paul Menard will transition from full-time Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing after the 2019 season. Matt DiBenedetto will join the team next season and will race the iconic number 21 Ford Mustang beginning in 2020. So to go into more detail, Paul Menard announced he is stepping away from full-time NASCAR racing, virtually retiring, it looks like, to spend more time with his family, his kids, everybody. So Paul Menard is out at the 21, and Matt DiBenedetto, one of the greatest stories of the last 12 months in NASCAR, he will be racing the iconic, the famed, the freaking historic 21 car next year. This is huge. To talk about how this deal came into place, we kind of have to go back a full year ago. The story of how Matt DiBenedetto got to where he is right here, right now, should rejuvenate a lot of the more cynical NASCAR fans. I feel like a lot of fans these days, and rightfully so, don't like the fact that a lot of young drivers getting these good rides are kind of paying their way in, or not necessarily paying their dues, more so they just have connections to get these opportunities. A driver like Matt DiBenedetto and his story from the last year should be a good thing to a lot of these more cynical fans. So here's the thing, a full year ago, Matt DiBenedetto announced that he was leaving Go Fast Racing at the end of the season. He didn't have another job lined up. He didn't have another deal, didn't have any of that. Matt DiBenedetto, at the time, a relatively small name. Nobody really knew or cared about Matt DiBenedetto, but he was stepping away from a full-time NASCAR Cup Series ride. That's the type of thing that pretty much any stock car driver dreams of having at one point, a Cup Series ride. Sure, it wasn't a good one. He was running 25th, 30th every single week, but he was making money. He was living the dream. He was on the biggest stage in American motorsports. And he stepped away from that. He took a huge risk, a huge bet on himself, a huge gamble because he believed he had the opportunity to find a more competitive ride. And he ended up with Levine Family Racing, which was a step up, especially given that Levine ended up teaming up with Toyota this year. And as we've seen this year, DiBenedetto's had a few more of those just career-defining runs, almost won Bristol, a top 10 last week at Indy. He's been great on the road courses this year. So ultimately it worked out great. But then a couple weeks ago, right before the Bristol race, we got the bad news that Matt DiBenedetto was going to be removed from that 95 car next year in favor of likely Christopher Bell. So DiBenedetto took this huge risk. It looked like it was going to pay off. He got a Toyota ride, got in the top Toyota system, and then it came crashing down. And the last couple weeks, things really haven't looked great for Matt DiBenedetto's future. I mean, you looked around at a lot of the cars available. I mean, I talked about my silly season predictions video last week. He's being linked to the 38 at Front Row Motorsports, which is not a great car, or maybe the 32. He goes back to Go Fast Racing, which I know there's rumors they might switch over and be in a line team with SHR. But that's still not a consistently good race car. The future for Matt DiBenedetto seemed kind of bleak, which is why I thought he might go down to the Xfinity Series for a full season before something opened up in Cup. I did not realize that the Wood Brothers 21 car was going to be available. So lo and behold, here we are just a few weeks later with the announcement that Matt DiBenedetto is going to be driving for a Team Penske affiliate, Wood Brothers Racing, the 21 car. That's not a top car. That's not a championship contending car. That's a playoffs car. That's a car that can win races and has won races recently. A couple years ago, Ryan Blaney won a race in that car and made it all the way to the round of 8 in the playoffs. So that 21 car, I don't know if it's really going to be a step up from the 95, given that I think the 95 might become a little more closely aligned with Gibbs next year, but it's still going to be competitive. Matt DiBenedetto, I think, has set himself up to have a career-best Cup Series season next year in 2020, if that Wood Brothers car continues to be anything like it's been the last few years. And so ultimately, here's a driver who earned this good opportunity based on merit. He didn't pay his way in there. Matt DiBenedetto's not bringing any of his own funding in any way, shape, or form. He took a gamble. He took a risk. He left a stable Cup Series job to try and improve himself and improve his legacy, his career. And it paid off because he got the results. If you get the results, you will be rewarded. And it's great to see. That's a very refreshing thing to see in this day and age in NASCAR, where there's a lot of drivers that don't get the results but still get the opportunities. DiBenedetto got the results and got the opportunities the old-fashioned way. This is why guys like Matt DiBenedetto or even Ross Chastain this year have really taken the NASCAR fan base by storm, because these are guys that don't have a lot of their own money to put into racing but are still finding great opportunities opportunities and finding great success. That's why these stories are so important to racing, so important to NASCAR. That's why the eyes of the nation have turned towards Matt DiBenedetto, and why I think a lot of people are excited by today's news, because this is a driver who bet on himself and earned it. He earned a good opportunity. And Wood Brothers Racing, it's a Penske affiliate. Team Penske's got room to grow. There's room still for Matt DiBenedetto to take that next step and maybe become a part of Team Penske if they ever expand to 4 cars. So Matt DiBenedetto, he might not be a championship contender next year, but give it some time, we could be talking about Matt DiBenedetto, NASCAR Cup champion. That's not out of the question. I'm not making that prediction yet, but that's not out of the question. He went from a year and a half ago, actually less than that, a year ago, driving for a backmarker team to here he is now, by his own merit, going to be racing for a contender next year. You just love to see it. That's what you love to see. Now I got to talk about Paul Menard here, because this retirement announcement comes basically out of nowhere. Paul Menard's only 39 years old. He's older. He's definitely in the back end of his career, I would say, but 39, not incredibly old or anything. And in that predictions video I did the other day, I didn't even have the 21 car listed, because as far as I knew, he was going to be back. He's got that funding from Menard's family-owned company funding him. I figured he was going to be back for another year, as always. But no, it looks like Paul Menard, on his own terms, it looks like is deciding to step away. I don't think this is a case of the Wood Brothers forcing him out because of the sponsorship money he brings in. I don't think Wood Brothers forced him out. I think Paul Menard genuinely was ready to end his career at the end of this season. And I guess the timing just couldn't be better for Matt DiBenedetto, honestly. Now the reports say that Menards, the company, and some of their affiliate brands will still be on the 21 car for most of next season. So that's where sponsorship for Matt DiBenedetto is going to come from. But this is just crazy. This is shocking news. I had to make a video about this because I knew this was gonna, I think, make a lot of fans happy. I know Paul Menard fans aren't happy at all. Paul Menard has had a solid career, won the Brickyard 400, never really got in top equipment, but was consistently decent in decent equipment. So credit to Paul Menard. He's had a solid career. Hope he has the best, hoping the best in retirement. But for Matt DiBenedetto, and I think newer NASCAR fans, this is a great day. This is a great day to see a driver really rewarded for performing. I love it. No, Wood Brothers weren't the only people to put out a statement here. Matt DiBenedetto tweeted this in response to today's news. I don't even have the words to describe how thankful I am. Paul is such a great guy, and I'm lucky to call him a friend, and I wish him the best. So excited to take over and drive for one of the most legendary teams in NASCAR next year. I have so many people to thank. My last final thoughts on this is it feels like this deal really only came together in the last couple weeks. I think when that announcement was made before Bristol that DiBenedetto was going to be out at Leavine Family Racing, I think at that point this deal was not even on his radar. I don't think this was an opportunity that he saw coming at all up until maybe in the last week or so. So to see this come together as quick as it did, to see a great team like Wood Brothers Racing step up and sign a guy who I think most every fan and most every owner in NASCAR knows has potential. Big credit to them. Huge credit to Wood Brothers Racing for taking a chance on Matt DiBenedetto and going with a guy who has proven to get the results lately. He might not have all the funding behind him. He may not have a big company like Eris behind him or be the grandson of one of the owner of Wood Brothers. He might not have those connections, but he does have the results to back it up. So credit to Wood Brothers Racing for taking a chance on this guy. I'm excited to see what DiBenedetto does. Hopefully he doesn't prove us all wrong. Hopefully he has a good year next year. Don't want to let these guys down, but from what I've seen so far, I think Matt DiBenedetto is going to have a very solid year. Definitely going to be a playoff contender. Might even win a race the way he's been looking the last few months. I think DiBenedetto, a win is not out of the question next year. A win is not even out of the question this year. He can still win a race with Leavine this year the way he's been performing the last 10 races or so. So it's crazy. It's awesome, but these are the stories you like to see. You like to see guys get rewarded for their strong performance. Anyway, you guys, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this episode. Really just a one-topic, one-stop shop here. Just wanted to talk about this deal because it came out of nowhere, and I was very excited to see it. Before I let you guys go, I want to let you know of a contest you can enter on Twitter from my good friends at Joe's Hand Cleaner and NASCAR Pole Position. You can see it right here. They're giving away an awesome Brad Keselowski diecast, as well as some other great Joe's Hand Cleaner products. I'll link to this tweet down below. Go on Twitter, like the post, tag a friend, follow Joe's Hand Cleaner, and you will have a chance to win. Thanks to them for doing that awesome giveaway. And again, thank you to Joe's Hand Cleaner being a sponsor of the Groovy Gang and Out of the Groove. Anyway, y'all, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram, all that great stuff. Also, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Michael Harrison, at Jews of the Stars, Cameron James, John Koblenz, Jason Arlong, Wesley Donaldson, Isaac Dennison, Nika Suzuki, iFancyRace.com, TheRacingInsiders.com, Matthew Koulopoulos, Pepe Lucius, Jeremy Conkling, Joey DiMancino, Emilio Garcia, Sky Racing Forum, Bryce Schumacher, Bryce Starcher, Scott McNew, Colton Austin, the rest of these incredible Patreon supporters. Really means a lot to me that so many of you continue to support what I'm trying to do over here and enjoy the show. But thank you guys for being the real MVPs and going above and beyond to support the show. It means a ton to me. Should have a video up tomorrow. I'll do kind of my pre-playoffs predictions video and everything, and then I'll probably have at least one more video up before Las Vegas this weekend, talking about whatever other big news comes out this week, because with silly season in full force, I gotta believe something else is gonna happen this week. If it's just a rumor, it's still just a rumor. Saw a rumor today, or basically another confirmation that Bell is gonna be announced to the 95 in the next week or so, so expect that news sometime soon. I think it's already pretty much a done deal, but expect it to be official sometime soon. Point is, we're gonna have more videos up very, very soon. Lots to talk about. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.